According to the World Bank, the global extreme poverty rate dropped from over 36% in 1990 to around 9% in 2019, largely due to economic growth and development fueled by capitalist principles. The Human Development Index, HDI, shows that countries with market-oriented economies tend to have better education, healthcare, and overall well-being. Capitalism encourages innovation through competition and profit incentives. This is evident in the United States, where companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon have revolutionized industries, driven technological advancements, and improved quality of life. Then, why do people keep protesting over capitalistic societies and choosing socialism, or even some case communism as a preferred system?
Communists are lazy, communists are dumb, yeah, for sure, bud. Can't hear you over the sound of my All-American trophies clacking together. But my fellow communists, who keeps telling these guys that communism is when everything's free? Communism is when workers own and control their own labor and the value that their labor creates. And when everyone's jacked, that's communism. Let's get it done, it's a better system.
In today's video, let's look into why capitalism is a comparatively better for a country and its citizens. Now, let's define what is a functioning economy. A functioning economy is an efficient system that allocates resources like labor, capital, and natural resources to meet the needs of its people. It produces a diverse range of goods and services, guided by the price mechanism driven by supply and demand. While healthy competition promotes innovation, efficiency, and lower prices. And also, don't forget about low unemployment. While some income inequality may exist, a good economy will have a fair distribution of income to support basic needs of its citizens. Now, what is capitalism, and how does it differ from socialism and communism? Firstly, capitalism is an economic system where private individuals and businesses control production, driven by self-interest and profit. It relies on competition and free markets to determine prices and resource allocation. Private property ownership and entrepreneurship are emphasized to encourage economic growth. Socialism, on the other hand, is an economic and political system where ownership and control of production are collectively held by the community or the state. Its focus is on reducing inequality and ensuring equitable distribution of resources, with public ownership of key industries and services, along with government involvement in the economy, aiming to prioritize social welfare over individual profit. And finally, communism represents an extreme form of socialism, where all means of production and property are collectively owned. Its goal is to create a classless society by eliminating private ownership and profit motive by having resources shared equally among all members, with the ultimate aspiration of achieving a stateless and moneyless society. For example, just look at North Korea and compare it with its sibling South Korea. And you have figured out what is communism. So, now you might be asking, why does capitalism work? And why does it get so much hatred, even though the other economic systems are much worse? Before going any further, we need to understand that capitalism has contributed to improved living conditions in various ways. By incentivizing innovation, capitalism has spurred technological advancements, leading to the creation of diverse goods and services that enhance people's quality of life. The pursuit of profit has driven entrepreneurship and investment, fostering economic growth which contributes to better job opportunities with higher pay and better quality of living. However, the impact of capitalism on living conditions is not uniform. Challenges like income inequality and environmental concerns exist, and the government regulation often plays a role in mitigating negative outcomes and ensuring equitable access to basic necessities for its citizens. While individual with capital and companies has driven economic progress. This also explains the reason why most people hate on capitalism, the reason being most people don't have a lot of capital and financial knowledge to venture into profitable businesses. Meanwhile, in socialistic and communistic countries have frequently grappled with corruption, which undermines efforts to improve living conditions. The concentration of power in these systems can create opportunities for government officials and elites to exploit their positions for personal gain. Centralized control and lack of transparency often exacerbate corruption as decision-making becomes opaque and accountability diminishes. Moreover, in communistic societies, where resources are meant to be equally shared, corruption can lead to preferential treatment, benefiting a select few while leaving the majority disadvantaged. Bureaucratic red tape and lack of competition in these systems can foster an environment conducive to bribery and embezzlement. This diversion of resources from their intended purposes can hinder the provision of essential services and negatively impact citizens' well-being. On top of that, this country is also being marked by limited private ownership and heavy government involvement, which more often or not result in crony capitalism, where well-connected individuals and businesses exploit their relationships with the state to gain unfair advantages. This practice not only distorts resource allocation but also erodes public trust in the system's ability to deliver equitable living conditions. Because of this, both socialistic and communistic countries underperform and lag behind capitalistic countries like the United States and Singapore. Now, for next part of the video, let's take a look at how efficient resource allocation is in capitalistic countries compared to both socialistic and communistic countries. In capitalism, the price mechanism plays a crucial role in efficiently allocating resources. Prices in competitive markets are determined by the interaction of supply and demand. When demand for a particular good or service increases, its price rises, signaling to producers that there is a profitable opportunity to meet that demand. Conversely, if supply exceeds demand, prices decrease, indicating to producers that they should adjust their output. This dynamic interaction of prices guides both producers and consumers in making decisions. Consumers, on the other hand, respond to price changes by adjusting their purchasing decisions. When a good becomes more expensive, consumers may choose alternatives or reduce consumption, while lower prices can stimulate higher demand. Capitalist markets provide the flexibility for resources to shift towards areas with increasing demand and away from areas with declining demand. This adaptability fosters efficiency as resources flow towards activities that yield the greatest value to consumers. Additionally, competition among producers ensures that goods and services are produced at the lowest possible cost, further optimizing resource utilization. But for both socialistic and communistic countries, the idea is to advocate for collective ownership and planning, where the state or community determines how resources are allocated. Prices may not play the same role in conveying information about supply and demand, as production decisions are often made centrally rather than through market interactions. Furthermore, in socialist economies, central planning authorities make decisions about resource allocation based on broader societal goals, such as equitable distribution of resources and reducing inequality. While this approach may mitigate some inequalities, it can lead to inefficiencies and challenges in accurately gauging consumer preferences. On the other hand, in communist economies, the goal is to eliminate private ownership and class distinctions entirely. Resource allocation is meant to be based on the principle of from each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. However, the absence of market prices makes it challenging to efficiently allocate resources based on changing consumer demands, potentially leading to shortages or surpluses. Great example of this poor resource allocation is China's massive Three Gorges Dam project. It was built aimed to generate hydroelectric power, promote flood control, and enhance navigation. While it achieved some goals, the environmental and social impacts were significant, displacing communities and leading to ecological disruptions. The project's allocation of resources to prioritize short-term gains over environmental sustainability highlights China's challenges in resource management. Even though people might protest the idea of a capitalistic system and prefer more socialistic one, hopefully, they don't choose communism. It's their choice to make. All in all, capitalism still stands tall as the winner in our modern world. With that, this is Visionomics. Signing out.